Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. My name is Zay, and Godzilla vs. Kong is in theaters now. I actually saw it 2 nights ago, and all I can think about are those giant monsters punching each other. And I'm not even oversimplifying it. They just flat out punch each other. But since I have monsters on the mind, thinking about all the different ways they can look, all the different things they can do, I figured, hey, why not make that into a video? So I figured that today we could do something a little different, take the if I were in setup, mash it with some biological engineering, and see what we would be if we were to create ourselves as kaiju. Alright, it's gonna be pretty simple. If you've seen the other If I Were In videos, which, if you haven't, check it out. There's an iCard and a link in the description. Would you look at that? If you've seen those other videos, you know how fun they are and how easy they are. I have a list of questions here that we're gonna answer to create our perfect kaiju, and at the end, I get to read yours. So let's go ahead and jump into it with question number 1. What does your kaiju look like? Now, okay, personally, I prefer mammals over reptiles. Genuinely, I know that sounds dumb, but that's why I was on Kong's side going into Kong versus Godzilla, simply because I felt like I couldn't empathize with a lizard. Simple reason, dumb reason maybe, but a reason nonetheless. So I know that my kaiju is gonna have to be a mammal. Now I went through and looked up some of the canon kaiju that we see in this, what is this, like the Godzilla cinematic universe? I'm not sure what the name would be. But I went through and made a list of some of the mammals that we see, and I have it right here. So it looks like I'm gonna be wanting to make something that looks like Kong, Behemoth, Holy Tiger, or the Skur Buffalo. I am purposefully excluding the Lemur Titan. I mean, look at it. Okay, actually, maybe the Lemur Titan. Look at his little kaiju butt. But I'm definitely thinking of something along those lines. Now, what is a mammal that I feel like would represent me? As a kid, I really liked wolves, but that feels a little too serious for what I'm going for. I want something big, I want something fluffy, I want something powerful, but I also want something kind of lazy. Intimidating for sure, but cuddly absolutely. So I'm thinking something like a bear. Feels like a good balance between cuddly and aggressive. On the cuddly side, you have teddy bears. On the aggressive side, you have that scene from The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio. So my kaiju is going to be, at least at the base, a bear. Now I mentioned Holy Tiger earlier. This is from the novelization of the movies. He's essentially a Bengal tiger with antlers. Well, I looked at his design and I thought those antlers looked pretty sick. So I'm gonna give this kaiju a bear body with some antlers on it. Let's see, are there any other features that I think would be cool? Oh, let's give him like a lion's mane, like a real thick mane around himself. I'm looking up at a Lion King poster over here and it made me think of it. So yeah, let's go with that. We'll be a bear with a big mane and even bigger antlers. All right, shaping up pretty nicely. Next question, question number 2. What is your kaiju's name? All right, it's a bear, a lion, and has antlers. Blantler. You know what? Let's take a page out of Behemoth's book. Behemoth just means like, I'm pretty sure you can use behemoth just to say that something's big, right? Like that thing is a behemoth. I imagine this kaiju being very fluffy and sleepy and cuddly. So let's give him a name that goes with that, but still intimidating. Cuddles. All right, well, I guess Cuddles doesn't quite go with the whole naming convention of like Godzilla and King Kong. So we definitely need some kind of a preface. How about Count Cuddles? Yeah, we'll go with that. Count Cuddles. All right, so question number 3, where's your kaiju from? Now, I'm imagining the Pacific Northwest. I imagine that Count Cuddles is just hanging out in the forest, scratching his back on some big trees, getting some honey, eating way too many berries, and like taking a bath in the rain, rolling around in the mud. So I'm gonna say the Pacific Northwest. He'll hang out with Sasquatch. Oh my god, is Sasquatch a kaiju? Like a really low level one? Or is he like a hybrid kaiju human? Ugh. Let's move on. So question number 4, is it a good kaiju or a bad kaiju? Or somewhere in the middle? I'm gonna say he's a good kaiju. I definitely like the interaction between Kong and like the Skull Island like villagers or natives. So I think that Count Cuddles will actually be some sort of deity to a local population. Like a fake population, we'll make it up. Oh, and maybe in like their language, the word for him means like benevolent protector, but it sounds like cuddle. And that's why people call him Count Cuddles. So it's not stupid. It's misunderstood. Oh my god, put that on my gravestone. Stupid and misunderstood. Question number 5, does your kaiju have any powers or special abilities? Now that is an interesting question. So he definitely has to have some kind of special ability aside from just being big to be like a deity to this local people. So what would that be? Sticking with the whole cuddly thing, I want to make his powers very like sleepy hibernation themed, So let's say that he can emit from his mane like a neurotoxin or something that stuns people. So he'll go through and he'll stop predators from, you know, getting in the way of the local people's hunt or, you know, killing them. And maybe they actually hang out around Cuddles because he has this kind of AoE area of effect thing where, you know, predators in the area get dazed. I kind of like that. That's cool. You know, then that actually gives the people that live with him kind of like a reason to follow him as he goes around the forest. So maybe they're like nomadic. I like that a lot. But how would they not be affected by it? Maybe they have some kind of, you know, protection thing, like, I don't know, some kind of stone that absorbs a neurotoxin or something. I don't know. We'll say it's a stone that absorbs a neurotoxin that they hang around their neck. And I'm imagining them looking like the totems from Brother Bear. All right. And it'll look like Cuddles. So a little bear with a mane and the antlers. I like that. All right. So let's go on to the next question. Question number 6. Does your kaiju interact with any other kaiju? Well, I think that he definitely would be nice to other ones that he sees. I don't think he would just immediately start fighting. So yeah, I think he would hang out with them. I mean, we said he hangs out with Sasquatch, right? So maybe him and Sasquatch hang out. So I think we've got a good understanding of what this character is now. Let's jump over to the computer, try to composite some weird animal together and draw it out. All right, guys, so I got from behind the camera and jumped over to my computer and I started drawing out Count Cuddles. The process took quite a bit of time though, so I'm going to speed it up here for you and talk over it. So what I'm doing right here on Google is looking for some reference photos of a bear, some antlers, and a lion's mane. I'm going to copy them together into Photoshop, paste them together in a way that I think looks good, grab some landscape for the background, make that look nice, and then start drawing. So as you can see here, I'm trying to erase the background from the bear. I'm trying to move over this mountain so that the composition looks better. I cut out the antlers from the photo that I found. I'm putting it onto the bear's body to make Count Cuddles and his antlers. I flipped the bear because I thought the composition would look better that way. And then I grab a lion's mane and I throw it on there with some perspective warping and try to make it look natural. Reposition the antlers a bit just so, again, it looks a little more natural. Then I make the layers a little more see-through, I lower the opacity, and I make a new layer to start drawing. And you can see that it's already starting to take shape, the art style. I love his little eyes right here. I ended up just copying and pasting them. I think his ears are absolutely adorable. And here we move on to his defining characteristic, I think, his big old antlers. I actually copied and pasted the first one I drew because we don't have time for drawing 2 antlers. But I went over and drew his big fluffy body and I think it's absolutely adorable. I had some trouble getting the nose exactly right, figuring out this little body fat part behind his leg, but I got there. And now we're moving on to the mountains. I absolutely love these brushes, by the way. I will include the name of it right here. If you want to download them yourself, I actually use them to create a bunch of art. So if you like them, take a look. And here are the trees. The process I used for the trees was just drawing a thick line and then going through with this leaf brush and going over what the shape would be. And I think it actually turned out pretty cool. I think Bob Ross would be proud. These are some happy little trees. But then I just went with the leaf brush and went over the parts of the mountain that have trees and, you know, the actual leaves without the actual log kind of look like faraway trees, so I thought it worked out pretty well. I gave Count Cuddles some hair and then I decided to color him in. I went for just a basic kind of brown grizzly bear look and then gave him a lighter bit of fur for the mane. I actually think these colors go really nicely together. Kind of reminds me of Brother Bear again, which is kind of where I'm pulling a lot of inspiration from, so that's great. I colored in the antlers and the ears. I went for a darker color for the ears, which I wasn't expecting, but I think it looks really nice. Got the antlers all colored in and then I moved on to the grass. I actually just used that leaf brush again, drawing as much blades of grass as I can, and it actually turned out pretty cool. Then I started coloring, and I don't know if I'm happy with the final result, but it's definitely better than right here when I first started. I went for a kind of brownish gray for the mountains at first, and that wasn't working, so you can see I went for a brownish green instead, and then made the mountain completely white. Now I know that that's not accurate, but I thought that it looked a little bit better. Then I just went over and added the sky, added some clouds, and then I added some colors to the trees. I think this really ends up tying the trees together. You know, I think they looked great before, but having this color, again, even though it's not quite realistic, goes with the overall style that I'm going for. And after a few minor adjustments, I'm trying to add a little bit of shadow on Cuddles and some field focus. I think it turned out really nice. So here is the finished Count Cuddles. So guys, there you have it. There is Count Cuddles, my custom kaiju. Wow, that was a lot of k-k-k's. Count Cuddles, the custom kaiju. I absolutely love this guy. I want to be one of the natives that hangs out with him. He seems great. And it was a lot of fun to come up with. These always are. If you've never done one of these before, or even if you have and you're just excited to try this out, go ahead and look in the description, copy down the questions, and put your answers in the comments. I'm super excited to see what you come up with, and as always, I'll be recording my reactions to them in a video, so if you want to be featured on the channel, make sure to leave your kaiju down there. I want to see them. But anyway guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and coming up with this great character. I absolutely love what we came up with. If you had as much fun as I did, make sure to leave a like down below, and while you're down there, subscribe if you haven't already. We have a great little family here, and you would look great in it. I appreciate you being here, and I would appreciate if you hung out more, so make sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed hanging out with me and you want to see more of this face, make sure to check out some of the other videos. Whoa! Mic down. As I was saying, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of me, make sure to check out the other videos. If you want to take me on the go, make sure to check out my podcast called Quests and Stuff. You can find it anywhere you get your podcasts. It's where me and my friends play Dungeons and Dragons, and boy, is it a lot of fun. I put a lot of work into that. I'm really proud of it, so go check it out. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for coming up with kaiju with me. I can't wait to see your answers, and I will see you soon for the next video. But until then, go do some good stuff. Later.